What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Mailari. So tonight, this is really just another one of my episodes where I come in without really a general plan, and I'm just coming in and talking sports as I've done now the last 2 or 3 episodes with no real plan coming into it. There's some big sports games tonight. Northeastern basketball was hosting Harvard. Northeastern 0-2 on the year, playing Harvard tonight at home at Matthews Arena. Ended up losing in that game 70-69, lost by 1. That game was on Nest, and I checked it out for a few minutes. Northeastern was down when I was checking it out, so I thought maybe turn it off might give them some luck. They still ended up losing the game by a point, unfortunately. Had a chance at the buzzer. Coleman Stuka had a shot with just about 4 seconds to go as the buzzer expired, and he ended up missing it. Northeastern losing the game by 1, unfortunately. But a positive note for Northeastern is Jamil Telford continue his great season so far. Played great, 23 points, 9-17 shooting, 4-9 from 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in 36 minutes of action with a steal. Besides that, the Northeastern really hasn't gotten too much scoring from the rest of their team, and that's a problem. I mean, the depth scoring-wise is going to be an issue for this team. Harold Woods at 13 points, 6-9 shooting, and then Coleman Stuka at 13 points on 5-14 shooting, 3-9 from 3. But besides that, no one else scored in double digits. And Chris Doherty, I don't know what happened to him. Must have got hurt early in the game when I wasn't watching. Only played 3 minutes of the game, was 0 for 1 from the floor with no points and no rebounds. Did not record a single statistic besides being 0 of 1 from the floor. So not the best, obviously, for Northeastern. They did obviously shoot a little bit better in the first half. In the second half, they did in the first half, 45.7% from the floor in the second half versus 41% in the first half. As a Harvard, though, it's a good win for them. Honestly, at the end of the day, crosstown rivals, very similar talent on both teams, so it's always a good battle, competitiveness-wise. But they were dominated. They dominated the glass and also dominated shooting-wise as well. In the glass, they won 33-31 was the ratio of rebounds versus for Northeastern versus Harvard, but they dominated the offensive boards. 11 offensive boards for Harvard to Northeastern's just 7, and they were just unreal all game. If you look at it, or it's the other way around, actually. Northeastern dominated the offensive glass. Harvard really struggled for the most part on the offensive glass, but they were just led by Chris Ledlum. He had a great game, 29 points, 12 of 17 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds with a couple blocks in 28 minutes of action. I apologize if I'm mixing up the box scores here. But from what I saw, the Northeastern found themselves down in the game and just do not have enough consistency on offense, and that's going to be a problem for them this season, as it was last year. I mean, they really only had Shaq Walters and Jason Strong last year with Jamil Telford, and now, obviously, with Shaq Walters going to play overseas and Jason Strong not using his last year eligibility, they really just left with Telford this year for scoring-wise. So that's tough for them, obviously, to start the year. Going up against a very competitive opponent. Harvard, you know it's going to be a close game. Harvard was favored by 2 points. Northeastern ended up covering that, only losing by 1. But at the end of the day, tough game for Northeastern. Obviously, they wish they won that game. Now they're 0-3 on the year, unfortunately. And now they're going to have some tough games coming up. They play Syracuse on Saturday at 4 o'clock at Syracuse. That'll be a hard game. And then they play in Manhattan. They're playing Manhattan in either Army or Princeton in the London Basketball Classic on Thanksgiving on this coming Thursday at 12 o'clock. And then the following Saturday, so the Saturday right after Black Friday, they'll be playing against either Army or Princeton in that tournament. And then after that, they'll return home after Thanksgiving break. And we'll be playing Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech on December 2nd, Friday at 7:30. So that's 4 tough games right there. It's a tough stretch. Obviously, Syracuse is a tough game. Georgia Tech's a tough game. And then Army or Princeton, probably a tough game realistically. So tough stretch there for Northeastern. And the next game I could probably go to for them is maybe December 10th, a Saturday at 2 o'clock, since their next game after this one at home after tonight is December 4th, Sunday, 2 o'clock versus Georgia State. And with the Giants playing on that day, it'll be a hard game for me to pass up. Missing the Giants game. It'd be hard for me to pass up a Giants game for a Northeastern basketball game. Unfortunately, even though I love Northeastern basketball, they struggled against Providence on Saturday at Providence. It was an 8 o'clock game on Fox Sports. Lost that game 89-65. It's always going to be hard going against Providence, but Northeastern showed a lot of fight in that first half. Only went down 38-36 at halftime, and then outscored 51-29 in the second half. Coleman Stuka had a very good game, probably the best game for Northeastern overall. 17 points off 5-9 shooting from 3 and 6 of 12 from the floor. Jamil Telford struggled shooting-wise, 0-3 from 3, 4-13 from the field, in 30 minutes of action with 11 points. As for Providence, they just have too much talent overall. That's a hard thing for Northeastern to compete with. Jared Bynum had 21 points off 8 of 12 shooting from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3. And then also Noah Locke had 13 points, 5-11 shooting from the floor, and 30 minutes of action. And they also got a lot of help in the offensive glass with 4 offensive boards from Bryce Hopkins, who had 11 rebounds overall, 7 defensive, 4 offensive, and had 10 points with a steal. So he did double-double in the game. So very impressive win there for Providence, considering they found themselves only up by 2 at halftime. They outscored Northeastern by 22 in the second half and got the win. Tough loss for my Northeastern Huskies, but at the end of the day, hopefully they recover well on Saturday in Syracuse. Northeastern played Syracuse actually a few years ago, a couple of years ago now, and actually gave them a game. Only lost that game on December 16th of 2020. Lost that game 62-56 at the Kariya Dome. It was an afternoon game, I believe, a Wednesday afternoon game at 3 o'clock. Northeastern was led in that game by Jamil Telfit. He had 16 points off 3 or 4 shooting from 3, 5 and 9 from the floor with 6 turnovers. That was a tough game from turnovers-wise. Shaq Waltz had 5 turnovers in that game. Northeastern had 21 turnovers as a team that game. Tyson Walker, their star player who now plays for Michigan State, only had 7 points in that game. So that was obviously tough for Northeastern, losing that game by 6. They showed a lot of fight. They were only down by 1 point at halftime, then were outscored by 5 points in the second half. But it was 32-31 at half. As you can see, Northeastern stays close to a lot of good teams like Providence. Only went down by 2 at halftime on Saturday. Found themselves only down by 1 against Syracuse 2 years ago at the Kariya Dome. They ended up losing the game in the second half. But I think they'll be in this game. I think Northeastern could be in this game. Not sure what the line's going to be. Not sure what my prediction's going to be at the end of the day. When I give predictions, it seems like it never really works out. So not going to give a prediction for the game probably. But hopefully Northeastern stays in the game. Obviously, I'm always rooting for them to do good things. As you guys know, I'm a big Northeastern hockey fan, and Northeastern basketball fan, and Northeastern baseball fan. So everything Northeastern I'm a fan of. Now I'm going to move on really quick to BC basketball. I'm going to have Mike Hurley, the sports guru, come on at some point to talk about UMaine basketball. Me and him, big UMaine football fans and UMaine basketball fans, but just UMaine super fans in general. Big Black Bears super fans. Obviously, with their football program, we saw them play at BC on a Saturday night in September 17th. That game was a great game to be at. Maine was in the game the whole game. We also sat right by the main fan section, so it was a pretty cool atmosphere. They had a lot of fans, actually, and they were pretty electric, brought some energy, great energetic crowd. They were very into it. It was entertaining to watch the game and also seeing their reactions when Maine had that big, 85-yard kick return, almost returns in the house. That was very exciting to see, especially considering, even though I'm a BC football fan, I'm rooting for BC. At the end of the day, I'm a football fan too at the same time, so I'm rooting for a sick play to happen. At the end of the day, I'm rooting for the game of football as well, and I thought that kick return by the kick returner for Maine was unreal. So me and Mike Hurley gave him the credit he deserves. The sports guru will be on hopefully at some point tonight to talk about that game. But BC basketball, they are going to be playing in the Paradise City tournament, which I'm going to preview that really quick. They're the only Power 5 school in the whole tournament, so hopefully BC can get a win in that. It is called the Paradise Jam in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So the Paradise Jam tournament, BC will be playing George Mason on Friday night on ESPN3 at 8 o'clock. And then we'll either be playing Belmont or Tarleton State on Saturday or Sunday. And then if they were to win that game and win both of them, they'd be playing on Monday, I believe, in the championship game. As for George Mason and how the basketball team's been doing this year, going to give a quick preview of that game really quick. They had 2-1 on the year, lost to Auburn by 18 on opening night. Not a bad loss to play at Auburn, only losing by 18 considering Auburn's the number 15 team in the country. Then they beat Longwood by 14 and then beat American University by 17. So they're coming up 2 big wins, 17 and 14. Or more than that, actually. No, it's 14. 17 and 14 coming off 2 big wins there for them. So 31-point combined points in their 2 victories. As for BC, coming off a bad loss to UMaine. That was a tough loss to BC basketball. 69-64 on Monday night. It was a 6 o'clock game, so I ended up not being able to go. We had a 6 o'clock intramural basketball game. I hit a couple threes in that, so it ends up being worth it to miss the BC basketball game. But BC ended up playing at that 6 o'clock window, and I had intramurals at 6, so 6 to 7 I had the game, and then I had class for my sports digital, covering sports in the digital age class, which is about covering sports in the digital age, basically the way it sounds. That's what the class is about, covering sports as a beat writer and tweeting things out and writing articles and promoting it online and doing a podcast. That's what the whole class is about with Chris Cotillo. He's great at what he does. Check him out on MassLive.com. He's a Red Sox beat writer for them, for MassLive.com, and then also check out his Twitter as well. He's always doing great things. He's very entertaining to follow. Anyways, As for UMaine, though, I end up going to class from 7 to 9, so I end up missing that UMaine game. UMaine ended up winning the game 69-64. They found themselves up by 34-30. They found themselves up by 4 points at half. Then outscored BC in the second half, 35-34, winning the game 69-64. UMaine now 2-1 on the year. And UMaine, honestly, that was a big win for them. That's a big win for UMaine basketball. Considering, at the end of the day, if you look at it, I mean, BC basketball, they had more to lose than UMaine basketball. UMaine basketball was playing BC at the end of the day, and realistically probably going in just saying, if we lose, we lose. And BC also paid them $90,000. $90,000 BC paid to get UMaine at BC at Conte Forum for that home game, and then BC ends up beating them. I mean, BC ends up losing. Maine ends up beating them. So that's a bad loss to BC basketball. 69-64 win. Huge win for UMaine. They're now 2-1 on the year. They'll be playing Columbia on Friday, November 18th, at home at 7 o'clock at UMaine. They'll be playing in their home uniforms. I saw today on their Instagram, so that's pretty exciting. Their white uniforms that are pretty cool. That was a big win for UMaine. Huge win. They never trailed in the game at all. UMaine never trailed. And that was BC's first loss against an America East team since 2015. BC's first loss to an America East team since 2015. That's ridiculous. I mean, BC basketball, you got to beat these teams you should be beating. When you have to play ACC games, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be really hard now to play in the ACC when you have to play teams like North Carolina or Duke when you're losing games to UMaine. You can't lose games to UMaine at the end of the day. Even though I love the basketball program, I'm high on them. That was the Black Bears' first win against a Power 5 school since 2010-2011. Their last win against a Power 5 school since the 2010-2011 season. And BC only beat Cornell by 2 points on opening night and then beat Detroit Mercy by 4 points on that following Friday. So combined 6 points in their two victories against Cornell and Detroit Mercy. Two schools they were favored against by 10-plus points, I believe, at 9-plus points. And in both those games, BC trailed with a minute or two to go. So at the end of the day, I saw something was not going the right direction with BC basketball at the end of games in those two wins. Even though they end up getting wins, at the end of the day, things go the opposite way. They end up losing. And it's honestly tough to see because these are two wins BC should have. They should be 3-0 realistically right now. But congratulations to UMaine and a great win. Chris Mockwood, former BC assistant coach, former longtime Northeastern assistant coach, made the move from BC to UMaine, is now their head coach for the basketball program at UMaine, and he's doing great things already. They're 2-1, getting their first Power 5 win since 2010-2011, and handing BC their first loss to an America East team since 2015. So very impressive win for them. They were dominated. BC was dominated, though, by UMaine offensively. Rebounds-wise, 38-33. UMaine out-rebounded BC, 38-33. And if you look at it shooting-wise, UMaine was 5-16 from 3. BC, 5-18 from 3. So UMaine was better from the three-point line, shooting 31.3% to BC's 27.8%. UMaine was shooting 44.8% from the floor to BC's 41.4%. And the big difference is UMaine's consistency. 13 of 29 from the floor in the first half, 13 of 29 from the floor in the second half, shooting 44.83% from the floor the whole game. BC shot 33.33% in the first half to 50% in the second half, so they obviously improved in the second half, but were 1 of 6 from 3, shooting 16% from the 3, was BC in the second half. And they shot 11 of 19 from the free throw line, including 6 of 12 from the free throw line in the first half. So 50% from the free throw line in the first half and 11 of 19 overall in the game. They were 57.8% from the line. UMaine, very good free throw shooting team. They were 4 of 5 in the first half, 8 of 10 in the second half, 12 of 15 from the free throw line, and they were 80% overall. So very impressive win for UMaine. And here's the thing about UMaine basketball, and I said this to Mike Hurley, sports guru. UMaine found themselves up in the game the whole game. They never trailed. But the difference between UMaine basketball and BC basketball was that UMaine was hitting free throws. So I said to Mike, if UMaine finds themselves up in this game by 2 or 3 points with a minute to go, they're winning this game. Because not only are they not playing, they're playing great defense. Not only can they play defense, and not only are they getting ready for rebound, out-rebounding BC 38-33, but they're also playing unreal from the free throw line. 12 of 15 from the free throw line overall, 80% from the line. BC was shooting 56% from the free throw line, 57%. You can't have that as a Power 5 school. BC has to be better. I know they have their injuries. DeMont Langford, that was his first game back at 28 minutes of action. 4 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. 5 points overall with a steal and a block. And also had 2 assists. He ended up leaving the game with a cramp. But you're still missing a couple pieces, obviously. You're missing Quinton Post, that's a big miss. And then also, obviously, in that game, did not have Prince Aligbe, the freshman forward, who's had a great season so far. But BC basketball needs to win that game. As for some positives, Mikhail Ashlankovic played very well. It was 0-4 from 3, so not a great game from the three-point line, but 7 rebounds, 4 fouls, so he did play aggressive, with an assist, 2 steals, and 18 points, shooting 6-7 from the free throw line and 6-17 from the floor. And then Jaden Zachary, 5-12 from the floor, 2-4 from 3, and 13 points overall. So, and the best way to say it is every dog has its day. So my mother always said, so my dad always said, and I learned that at a very young age. Every dog has its day and has his day. And at the end of the day, UMaine had their day against BC. Kellen Tynes was great from the floor, had a big steal with a minute to go, got UMaine extra possession, had 10 rebounds, including 17 points, 2 steals, a block, 5 assists, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 of 15 from the floor in 36 minutes of action. Jashante Wright McLeish in 30 minutes of action, 5 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3, with 3 rebounds and 12 points with 2 steals. And then also, they had a lot of consistency on the rebounds. I mean, they had 4 guys with 5+ rebounds. 4 guys, including the Hungarian forward, which I'm probably going to butcher the names, so I'm not going to say completely, but Jetty starts with the last name J. I'm not going to try to mess it up. It's a tough name to say, obviously, so my apologies, but he was great in their game against Nebraska. It was 6-7 from 3. I believe it was with 20 points. And then against BC, though, the other night, struggled on the offensive end, 1-7 from the floor, 0-2 from 3. It was 2-2 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds. On the defensive end, 1 offensive, so 5 rebounds overall. Did have a block and 4 points. They probably expected a little bit more out of him overall, considering he had 4 points with 5 rebounds. He's typically given them more on a given night, but they also had enough to win the game, and congratulations to UMaine on a great win. As a BC, as I said, they will be traveling to the Paradise Jam tournament, playing against George Mason. As for George Mason, I'm very impressed with what they've done this season, being 2-1. They're scoring a lot of points per game. They're averaging right now 69.3 points per game, and also shooting 47.2% from the floor, and also 40.6% from 3 as a team, which is very impressive. So now I'm going to break down a couple of their players to keep your eye on. Some of their best players, I'm just going to give you a couple names right now. Victor Bailey Jr., averaging 15 points a game, shooting 50% from the three-point line, 83% from the free throw line, with 4.3 rebounds per game, and also a couple steals on the year. And then Josh Oduro, averaging 13.7 points per game, 61% from free throw line, so he's struggling from the free throw line, but 2 of 3 from 3, 56% from the floor, averaging 7 rebounds a game. So I apologize for that inconvenience there, but there you go. There's a couple guys to keep your eye on for George Mason. As a BC, they got to get better free throw shooting, got to get more consistent with the three-point line, and they also need a little bit more help on the defensive end rebounding-wise, especially considering UMaine rebounded BC 38-32. BC's got to be better than that. So we'll see what happens obviously on Friday at 8 o'clock. George Mason will be the home team for that game. I believe it looks like. Even though it's at Paradise Gym, the tournament, everyone's taking an away team since it's a neutral site. But at the end of the day, BC has to get a win no matter what. Now to update you guys on a couple MAC football games really quick before I get Mike Hurley, the sports guru, live on air to talk about UMaine basketball. As you guys know, as I said multiple times now, we're both UMaine football fans. We are. We're both UMaine football fans. I've talked about it now multiple times in the show. And now we're UMaine basketball fans. So it's pretty cool, obviously, being a fan of other schools besides just Northeastern and BC. I like, obviously, having a lot of teams to support. As you guys know, I like the Dodgers, I like the Clippers, I like the Red Sox, I like the Bruins, I like the Central Michigan Chippewas football team. I like a million teams. If you couldn't tell already, Northeastern hockey, Northeastern basketball, Northeastern baseball. I like a million teams, so having UMaine be in that group is pretty cool. And they've been playing great. Obviously, considering they're 2-1 in basketball right now. And football, record-wise, not having the best year, but they hustle very hard, and I like the way that team plays. They play very quick to their feet, and they also give it their all always. So, really quick, Central Michigan, 4-6 on the year, hosting Western Michigan tonight. It is a snow game. That game is pretty electric right now to watch. I have it live on air right now while I'm talking to you guys. Right now, it is 7-7 at halftime. Central Michigan, being 4-6 on the year, came in with high expectations. If they want to make a bowl game, they got to win tonight. And you got to go 6-6 to make a bowl game. They got to win tonight and win next week. Right now, Bert Emanuel Jr. is their quarterback. Daniel Richardson was hurt a few weeks ago, and Bert Emanuel Jr. has been their quarterback now for the past few weeks. He's 3 of 3 passing-wise with 32 yards, 10 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. Lou Nichols, the third, only has 3 carries for 6 yards. It's very, underwhelming to see, especially considering he's one of the best running backs in all college football. As for Western Michigan, they've been led on offense by Sean Tyler, 16 carries, 149 yards, and a touchdown. They only have 4 passes completed in the game, 4 of 9 for 40 yards. Obviously, with the snow, it's going to be a heavy passing game, and as you can tell, considering there's only 72 passing yards combined between the two teams, but 239 total yards from Western Michigan to Central Michigan's 127. It's going to be a low-scoring game, especially in that snow. Kent State tonight, 4-6 on the year, hosting Eastern Michigan, another team that came in with high expectations on the year. Currently finds themselves down 24-17 to Eastern Michigan at home in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go. Eastern Michigan's been led by Taylor Powell, the quarterback, 30-39 passing, 315 yards with 3 touchdowns. He's also got 3 carries for 21 yards. Samson Evans, 28 carries, 81 yards. And Dylan Drummond, a wide receiver for Eastern Michigan, having a very good game, 7 catches for 97 yards. And Tanner New, has 5 catches for 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. So impressive game for Eastern Michigan's offense. As for Kent State, Colin Schley, 6-12 passing for 150 yards and a touchdown. And then Marquez Cooper, 17 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Walker has 4 catches for 86 yards. Kent State's number 1 wide receiver. Kent State finds themselves down 7 right now with Eastern Michigan on the 9-yard line going in for another score with 6 minutes to go. And then the last game I'm going to talk about really quick is the Miami Redhawks. The Miami of Ohio is playing Northern Illinois tonight. Miami, Ohio is 4-6 on the year, and Northern Illinois is 3-7 on the year. So 4 wins, 6 losses for Miami, 3-7, 3 wins, 7 losses for Northern Illinois. As for Northern Illinois, they've really just been carried by Jaden Creedle all night, 13 carries, 87 yards. As for Miami, Ohio, Avion Smith, the quarterback, 8 of 17 passing, 104 yards with 13 carries and 35 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has both of the touchdowns for Miami tonight. Anyways, I'll keep you guys updated on what happens in those games. Now I'm going to try to get the sports guru, Mike Hurley, to come on and talk some football. We'll probably talk some BC football, maybe some Patriots football, with the Patriots having a big game this coming weekend against the Jets, which I believe it's the Jets. Let me see. I just want to make sure here. Make sure I'm right. It is Jets-Patriots on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I got it right. At New England. So the Patriots are 5-4 in the year, currently on a playoff spot in the AFC. Jets are 6-3. That'll be a big game. We'll probably preview that. We'll also talk some UMaine basketball. Going to get him on right now. Here he is, the sports guru, Mike Hurley, live on air. Here we go. How are we doing, Mike?
Pretty good.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Short notice here, but you made it happen.
I was maybe supposed to make an appearance last night. I apologize.
No worries at all. No, I'm happy you're on now. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about. We talk about UMaine basketball to start, talk some bees, talk the Patriots. What do you want to start with?
We're going to start with the guys who are making us a little fatter in the pockets. UMaine basketball.
Absolute dogs. All right, let's start with UMaine basketball. Obviously, me and you, big UMaine football fans. We like the way they play. We like the fight. We obviously like their fan section.
As a UMaine hockey, I like their jerseys. They got the blue on blue with the script Maine.
You're right. You were an original. At the end of the day, I do value your sports opinion just as high as I do anyone else's. You and my dad both up there. And
I ran into a guy one time at L Street putting air in the tires of a moped. He said he played UMaine hockey, and that Brooks Orpik on BC checked him in a game versus BC and lacerated his spleen or something.
Oh my god! Uh-oh.
I don't know who the guy was, but
yeah, no, it's a tough play. Obviously, Brooks Orpik, big guy too. But who was the UMaine hockey player? You and my dad were big fans of. Yes, Kariya, right?
The greatest college hockey player ever. That's it. 100 points in his freshman year or something. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, you guys are big fans of him. You and my dad both loved him. But
pretty sure he's the Hall of Famer. I think he was a point per game guy in the NHL too. Not even a big guy. So Paul Kariya.
UMaine baseball put on the map by Jeremy Pena, World Series MVP for the Astros. I mean, come on, UMaine sports is at its highest peak right now.
Yeah, underrated, under the radar.
They are. At the end of the day, me and you, we always say it's the eye test. We saw something in that UMaine football team. They played with heart and fight. We saw something there. It
all started with that run back that should have been
kick return
that was taken to the house.
You couldn't have touched it no matter what.
Questionable. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they blew that whistle too early. You let him keep going. If he has a 60, it would end up being a 68-yard return. But if he has a 93-yard return, he went through 6 guys. Give him the touchdown. Hand him it. Yeah. He deserves it. That was an electric moment. That was up there with the Mikey Walker moment.
They have some intense fans too at the games, covering the spread. The guys
ha, so funny. That guy was a beast.
Wait till Clemson comes in here.
Wait till Clemson comes in. Yeah, that guy was mad funny. But you're right, though. They had some passionate fans. And I think that obviously played into the environment. I would say that kick return, top 6 moment in Alumni Stadium. Electric.
We've had some pretty awesome kick returns that we've seen. Mikey Walker, number 1.
Michael Walker, of course. We also had some big
T. Higgins
Dylan
took
runs.
one to the house. Same
T.
game.
Higgins too. Yep. We saw some good ones, but where would you put this ranking wise? Top 5 most electric play while we've been at Alumni Stadium together. I would put it in there. Top 5.
It's probably up there. Special teams is always ripe for a little excitement.
It was an electric moment. It obviously, was the birth of me and you being a UMaine football fan. Now, obviously, you liked UMaine hockey, and now we're UMaine basketball fans.
I think Holy Cross got on the board with the touchdown.
They did. Blocked punt. It was sick. We loved that play, too.
Another special teams play.
You're right, though. You always say it, right? That Colin Coward always says that the way that
Felge says this. Yeah.
Felge says, okay, it's not Coward. The way a small school beats a big school is the way a small team beats a big team. You need special teams plays, just like you need to hit your free throws. You made best with their free throws. You got your free throws.
Hit the glass a little bit. I saw they grab some offensive rebounds at the end of the game to ice it.
38-32, the out-rebounded BC. Very impressive game. Shot 80% from the free throw line. And then also consistently outscored BC. They never trailed in the game. UMaine basketball never trailed.
Yeah, I think my biggest upset pick, the Oral Roberts, I read about them. It was the coach made them all take like 5,000 free throws in the offseason. So they're all just money from the line. Every time they got to the line, they were making them. So they beat Ohio State, Florida State, should have beat the
Arkansas. Should have beat
Arkansas,
them. They were right there. That was a cheap call, too. We got hit. Couple tough calls there. But
it's just like your margin for error is small when you're an underdog team
always.
In any sport. So you got to bag all the freebie points. And then on special teams, instead of taking fair catches, you got to try to make a play.
Always. You got to capitalize when you're a small school. And that's what Oral Roberts, they shot free throws, and that's what UMaine did. UMaine was 12-15 from the free throw line, 80% from the line. Yeah. BC shot 57%.
Citadel on Alabama. I mean, they're running the option.
That was electric. What's up with that, though? If BC basketball shooting 58% from the free throw line, you got to be better than that. 58% from the line?
You called it. You said they should be in the gym shooting free throws. Apparently, you should be the coach.
At this point, hey, me and you both can get in and we can turn the football.
I think we could have spots on the team. I've seen some 30-year-old guys on the team. I can make better than 6 out of 10 free throws, I think.
Drill some threes.
You give me a couple hours in the gym.
Why not? At this point? I mean, could use both of us out there. But so about UMaine, I'm gonna give a quick preview of how this came to be. UMaine basketball, us being fans, and shout out to Timmy Loftus really quick. He's already texted about Orono, Maine. Love to see it. He's a big UMaine super fan. Seems like too. It seems like everyone's now UMaine fans. I mean, you started it. You were the birth of it, and now everyone else is just UMaine fans. I became one with you.
Yeah, what's not to like?
Here's the thing. So UMaine's bus drove by me the other day. I was walking by the reservoir, and UMaine's basketball bus drove by me at about 4:30. I texted the sports guru, Mike Hurley, a video of the UMaine bus driving by me, and I said, hey, UMaine basketball's playing BC tonight, right? Just messing around. Mike texted, I might take UMaine to cover. Respectfully, I said, hey, BC only beat Detroit Mercy by 4 points and Cornell by 2. And both those games, they trailed in the last minute to go. And BC can't shoot free throws. So I said, at the end of the day, and they're very poor shooting free throws, I should say, because they should be better. But I said, at the end of the day, that's not a bad bet. Then he says, plus 1,500 money line. Right?
On the road, underdog.
On the road.
20-point dog.
20-point underdog. We knew that spread was going to be money, and then even money line, too. You were confident on winning the game the whole time. You never wavered. You knew they were winning that game.
I should have done this for Oral Roberts. They were plus 10,000 on Oral.
I know.
Something crazy.
I know, honestly. And neither one of us are betting guys. We don't bet at all, and I'm coming on it. Probably makes it seem like we bet a lot. We don't. But at the end of the day, that was just my only bet that I've ever really won. I don't really bet often, and that was a win. Obviously, you started with the money line. I wanted to spread, and we both made some money off it. Now we're big UMaine. We were UMaine guys anyways, and now it's just even more.
But I love it. Love to see it.
And what was the one most impressive thing about UMaine basketball? Was the rebounding? It must have been the rebounding.
It's got to be the rebounding because that's like,
small school, big school. I mean,
yeah, small school, big school, like literally having bigger, stronger players, athletes.
Exactly. And they out-rebounded them. And now UMaine's 2-1 on the year. They're not going to be underdogs probably again for a little bit. Playing Columbia Friday, they'll probably be favored.
It's good. Good to see.
And Kellen Tynes was electric in that game. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Had a big steal at the end.
What division does Maine play in? Like
Division
normally?
1.
Would they have a tournament bid if they win there?
They're going to win the America East. So Hartford and all those schools, I think, is in that. And maybe UMass Lowell, too. Lowell and Hartford and Fairfield. I think it's that division right there.
Okay.
So they obviously got a ways to go. But I mean, hey, if they make it, how far does UMaine make it? If they go to March Madness out of the round 64.
Depends on the seed, depends on the bracket, but maybe Maine coming out of the East, Sweet 16.
Why not? Hey, it sounds crazy now to some people. At the end of the day, you had Oral Roberts in your bracket winning the 2 games they won.
I took Oral Roberts to the Sweet 16. By the time they got there, I wanted them to, keep it going.
Yeah, we didn't care about the bracket the other day. They actually legitimately could have won that.
So I didn't just have them full. I had them making it through the whole first weekend, and they did. And they should have kept going. It was a great last-minute 3, had a good look,
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they look pretty good. But that was hard. That was hard, obviously. And obviously, UMaine basketball is a good win, obviously. And neither one of us are bettors. I'm not promoting betting. Neither one of us bet at all. It was just this one game.
If nothing else,
we both felt hot.
The Maine hockey uniforms, so you can become a fan because they look cool.
Exactly. So we weren't really betting just because we wanted to bet. We're not really gamblers, but at the end of the day, we saw UMaine basketball being 20-point underdogs, and me and you both like the UMaine football program, so we said, why not? At the end of the day, it ended up working out, which is pretty cool. So big win there for UMaine, obviously, and now we can transition to the Bruins, or we can talk about BC football. BC football obviously had a big win against NC State this weekend.
Huge win, yeah. Might as well touch on that.
Let's talk
I didn't watch a lot of it, but what was it? Their best win versus a ranked opponent, or the top ranked opponent they've beaten in since 2015 or something?
Yep, 2015. You drilled it.
Or no, wait. Yeah,
whenever
I was there to see them beat USC.
USC, yeah. You're right.
Yep. And this was a road game, so that's surprising.
It was, yeah. BC's defeated a top 15 team, a top 25 team for the first time since 2014. It was against USC. So
you almost never see a college programs beat superior opponents on the road, or
never
level playing field opponents.
Well, NC State was ranked, 18th?
16, I think.
16th was it?
16 or 18.
It was, let me see really quick.
I think it was 16, but...
Let me see here, too.
Yeah.
Really quick, hold on. 16th, you drilled a 7-2 record.
Yep.
Zay Flowers had a great game. Obviously, now he's returned to form. 7 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He broke the BC receiving yardage record, right?
Tied him, broke the receiving record, and then also tied the single-season touchdown record for BC football at 10, which is very impressive.
No way.
So, he's been playing great. That snapped BC's one of the longest home winning streaks in the country. They snapped NC State's home winning streak, which is very impressive. That's obviously a statement win for BC on picking up their 3rd win on the year. Moorhead was great, 29-48. Passing, 29-48, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns. And also got BC down the field in the last minute to win that game, which is pretty cool. So, big win.
Yeah, Mayo said he was looking good the game we watched him. I thought he threw too many fadeaway balls, you know what I mean?
Yes,
always off the back foot, fading away, kind of looping them up there, but...
I mean, it worked, though. Joe Griffin...
First game, you got to cut him some slack.
Joe Griffin...
I have to cut him some slack for that.
Joe Griffin had that touchdown 18 seconds to go. BC got the ball back in 2 minutes, 47 seconds. And then Joe Griffin Jr., continuing his great season, had a big touchdown catch for the win for BC. So, very impressive game for him. As for BC against Notre Dame this weekend, what do you think?
I don't know if it's all Halfley here, but I guess you give him a little credit. Go with a younger guy, get a big road win. Program's going to have some momentum going into next year at this rate, right?
Yeah.
Because I think they can beat Syracuse at home. Syracuse has come down a little bit from their early season. They were off to a great start.
That's a 7:30 game next Saturday night, Syracuse.
A lot of night games for BC this year, surprisingly.
Four. You had UMaine.
Yeah, you played 6 home games, 4 of them.
Duke.
4 of them on night games.
And now Syracuse. 4 night games. This one's going to be the coldest one. Saturday, November 26th. The Saturday after Thanksgiving. That'll be a brick game. But BC playing
Last
Notre
one of
Dame.
the year, though. So.
Hey, this game against Notre Dame this week is going to be 5 degrees.
And wait. So college football in the ACC, they're starting up the scheduling where we face Syracuse and is it Pitt or NC State or VTech
something
every year?
Like that. Pitt, NC State, and it might be Miami.
Is it Miami? Miami, maybe. Miami, Syracuse, and Pitt or something.
Let me see. Check out the realignment really quick.
Yeah, they're trying to drum up some yearly rivalries, which is actually, I think that's cool.
I don't mind it at the end of the day. I mean, they're trying to mix it up, so it's not just.
I think in all sports, division games are always more intense. Like Pats, Jets will be good. Bruins, Canadians. We haven't even played them yet this year. There's not as many divisional games in the NHL anymore.
They cut it down, right? It's Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Miami.
You play them 8 times, but
Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Miami. So BC playing Notre Dame this weekend. Notre Dame's 18th ranked team in the country, coming off a big win 2 weeks ago against Clemson, beating them by 21 points, 3 touchdowns, 35-14 on November 5th, and then beat Navy in a very close game this past weekend, 35-32. BC, this game will be at 2:30 on Saturday at Notre Dame in South Bend. And in this game, obviously BC is going to be, heavy underdogs, but it's also going to be really cold. 5 degrees with the wind chill. 5 degrees with the wind chill.
Usually you need the running game in the cold. That's the one thing we haven't been that great with this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be hard, and especially considering you're not going to be able to throw the ball as well, right, in the cold. 5 degrees is hard. That's going to be tough.
Usually. It's also just like the receivers running routes downfield constantly, like trying to catch your breath in the cold.
Yes.
It's also tough, but...
Notre Dame's having a good year, though. 7-3, obviously not a college football playoff year, but still pretty good.
They started off 0-2, though, so...
Exactly. Now they're 7-1.
What did they lose to Marshall or something?
Louisville and... not Louisville. It was... Was it Marshall? It was Marshall. Yes, they lost to Marshall.
I think they lost to Marshall, yeah.
Week 2 to Marshall, week 1 to Ohio State. That's what it was. I was going to say Louisville, but they didn't lose to Louisville. They didn't even play Louisville. But yeah, they
shot in the foot right away.
Then they beat Cal the week after, and then beat NC actually in week 4, 45-32. That was a big game for them. Now have won 7 of their last 8 games, so very impressive. Their only loss over that stretch was to Stanford on October 15, 16-14. So they've been impressive with Franklin as their new coach, and obviously now playing BC this weekend. Probably you'd imagine Notre Dame gets a win here. What's your prediction?
Yeah, hey, two road wins in a row is probably tough.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if it's a close game, If we keep them under 30.
But BC wants to win that.
Maybe like a 21-28 or...
Yeah, I'm with you.
Something like that.
It's going to be... the morning of that game will be, looks like 26 degrees with 13-mile-an-hour winds. And then the afternoon will be 30 degrees with a
13-mile-an-hour winds. Get ready for BC to not make a single kick.
25 miles an hour wind gusts with 16-mile-per-hour winds south to southwest with a 14 to 15 degree wind chill. So very cold wind chill. So that'll be tough for BC, obviously. South Bend's also getting 8 to 12 inches of snow this week, according to 1 Foot Down, which is Notre Dame football blog. So that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I will go Notre Dame winning this game 31-21. I think BC might be in 31-20. I think Notre Dame will be.
Yeah, you think people are getting in the 30s with the?
I don't know. I think they might just get a backdoor cover.
Yeah.
Backdoor cover of the 30 points.
Do they have a spread yet after this game? Is it
probably
2 touchdowns?
Let me see. I don't know. You'd imagine they're pretty favored.
They're probably not that big.
21.
BC
21.
21-point spread?
Yeah, right now 21 points and 44-point over-under.
So. All right, so I'll take it 24-12.
Okay. All right, I don't mind that.
Cover them.
I don't mind that.
Missing both extra points.
It'll be pretty interesting to see. So obviously we gave our predictions there. Now let's talk some Bees. Bruins, that's probably your favorite thing to talk about. Obviously UMaine's up there. UMaine's number 1 for tonight. The Bruins, though, 14-2 start to the season, 16 games, 14-2. Everyone said the Bruins right now, if they're 8-8 at this point in the season, without McAvoy for some games and Grizzlick for some games and Brad Marchand for some games, 8-8 would be great. And the Bruins find themselves holding the best record in the NHL, correct? 14-2.
Yeah, best record in the NHL, and all these players were all expected back like around or after Thanksgiving, and they're all back
December,
already,
right?
So yeah, so what's not to like? Plus 30 goal differential for the team this year. So I think they're the top scoring team and the best defensive team by goals allowed and goals scored.
They are. That was a big win on Sunday against the Canucks, 5-2. Obviously, Canucks.
I heard Swayman got hurt one game. He's actually back.
Yeah, he's back. They activated him, right?
Back active. Yeah.
They activated him. It's pretty cool. One thing I want to ask you about Hampus Lindholm, right? So we're going to talk. Obviously, Bruins are talking about the whole team. Not going to just talk about one guy, but one guy I want to ask you about, and I want your opinion on. And I said this to Mark Walsh before. Hampus Lindholm's not the best player in the Bruins. I think he's the most valuable player on the Bruins, though.
Yeah, I think the top defenseman on any team is arguably always the most important guy. Lindholm he's a force out there. He skates like 26 minutes a game.
Yeah. He's been killing it.
He's a great passer. He's not that physical. If I'm looking for anything more in his game,
yeah,
he doesn't quite have the physicality that a McAvoy has. So you like your top shutdown guy to also have a little bit of that intimidation factor, where he's gonna, he's gonna punish you if you're playing sloppy, you got your head down, or you can't get free entries into the zone every time. Make guys second guess, cause more offsides just by positioning than always with stick checks or chasing guys down. But he's a great skater, great passer. He picks his spots better than anyone on the team, and that's probably his best asset.
Yeah.
He'll jump up in the rush when he has to, but you never see him get caught flat-footed with a guy going in alone on breakaways when he's on the ice. So,
he's money.
Yeah, he's just got a big calming presence out there. He's great.
And you look at it, you were right. You drilled it. He plays like 25 minutes a night. 24-21 is his average time on ice, which is number one of the Bruins. The next closest, Charlie McAvoy, 21 minutes. 3 more minutes, or 2 minutes and 58 seconds more on average per night than Charlie McAvoy. So, very impressive.
You'd probably like to see them both get around like 22.
Yeah, I'd give him a little rest, too.
I think McAvoy, he'll get his conditioning back into shape. They'll feel comfortable putting him out there more. And I do think McAvoy is the younger player, more physical player. And, he's the hometown, like we drafted him. They gave him the big paycheck.
Yeah.
$9.5 million a year. I mean, Lindholm's here for just as long, but he's, and he's older, but he's got a lower paycheck. He's playing with just better players now, so his point numbers are up. Like, you pass the puck up the ice to Bergeron, Marchand, Pastrnak, Hall. Those guys go and they score.
You're right.
Back when he was on the Ducks, he's passing the puck up, and it's coming right back down his end, so.
He's pretty good. What's your opinion on, obviously,
he's a point-per-game guy.
Oh, he's a beast. He's a beast. What's your opinion on Ullmark versus Swayman? Obviously, Ullmark's had a great season. Now Swayman coming back. Ullmark's the one, right? It's not even close.
No, this is a loaded question for me. I'm a Swayman guy at the end of the day. Yes, I'm a Swayman guy.
What makes you a Swayman guy? He's playing great right now, Ullmark.
You know where Swayman played? UMaine.
He did. UMaine, we're big UMaine superfans, if you guys couldn't tell yet. We're UMaine superfans.
No, but the reason I'm a Swayman, I think Swayman has the higher ceiling, even despite what Ullmark's doing right now. And I think Ullmark is, he's up. He's the lead candidate for the Vezina by far this year. I think he was the first goalie to 10 wins. Hasn't lost on home ice. He's
he's playing great.
Hovering right around 2 goals allowed per game.
Oh, he's crushing it. Ullmark's been great. Ullmark's been great, averaging 93.4% save percentage with 1.96 goals per game against. And also his 12 games played, 11-1 record. So very impressive.
Oh, yeah, he's unbelievable.
But yeah, I know you're a big Swayman guy too. Kincaid also got a spot in there.
I just think Swayman's ceiling is better. He's a little younger. We drafted him, so that's something to like.
He's got 4 shutouts too.
In the playoffs last year, it did make a difference when Swayman came in rather than Ullmark. And Swayman was backing up a team that had Hurd, Hampus, Lindholm, and McAvoy had to miss a game from COVID. So our 2 top defensemen we just talked about were out. He's coming back against the wall. Team's down 0-2. Swayman's in the net, and he pulls out 2 straight games. So, I just think he's a guy who can elevate when he needs to in a big spot like the playoffs, whereas Ullmark hasn't shown that yet. So win all the regular season games you want. We need him. He's probably going to carry the load this year. But we'll see. When the playoffs come, I just hope that they don't feel obligated to leave Ullmark in there because he got, did so well during the regular season.
Yeah, and I respect that. And I was wrong for a second. He only has 1 shutout, Ullmark, but he has 4 saves and 4 attempts in shootouts. So
I think he only had 1 shutout all of last year. It's not that easy to come by these days.
Not in the NHL. There's a lot of goal scorers, right? And look at the beats.
Well, there's a lot of power plays and stuff. Like, pucks just, trickle in if you have to kill off 4 power plays a game, potentially.
Hey, the Bruins have played 16 games. They have 20 different goal scorers. Mm-hmm. Which is impressive. Obviously, you're going to get goals from Pastrnak, Marchand, Bergeron, but for years, that was really the only offensive production you've been getting. And now you got a ton of guys. They have the most depth. And I follow the Bruins as heavily as you do, and I'm asking this question. Do you think this is the deepest Bruins team they've had since they won the Stanley Cup? And they've had some good teams, obviously, since they won the Cup. But do you think it's the deepest?
I'm not sure if it's...
right before the pandemic, that team was deep.
It actually could be, considering the fact that we have a little more offensive punch on the back end. I think McAvoy and Lindholm, Grizzlick, Clifton, those 4 guys are much better offensively than any of the defensemen we had in 2011. I don't think they're as good defensively. I think the decor we had in 2011 was much better defensively, and they were physical, and they were. Yeah. We had Chara and Seidenberg. It was like
Seidenberg's a beast.
Oh, they were just wrecking balls out there.
Hey, I was talking to
But yeah, offensively, I think there's an argument to be made. It's tough to, with a younger Krejci, right? Krejci, Luch, Horton. That a high-powered line. So
Yeah, no, that team was good. Honestly, overall,
and I think just
depth-wise.
Krejci himself was awesome. So
Yeah, you were just
we're
talking
close.
about
We're
Seidenberg.
certainly close. I think as a team, the answer is probably yes. Offensively, a little bit better. Defensively, not quite as good.
I mean, the goalies. I mean, we're right up there with the way Rask was playing back then too, though, right? And even Tim Thomas back in his day. I mean, Omar.
Well, that was Tim Thomas.
That was Tim Thomas's days. But wasn't Rask the backup then, though?
Well, I mean, Thomas won the Vezina that year, I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah, and it was Rask on the team, right? I thought he was. Right?
Rask was the starter the year before. Thomas had hip surgery.
That's what it is. Okay,
and Rask did well, but then in the playoffs, we coughed up a 3-0 lead to Philly.
Yeah.
3-0 series lead to Philly, and up 3-0 in Game 7. So
you're right. And they play Philly tomorrow.
Then Thomas came back, won the job, and kept it.
You're right. Obviously, that was a good win for the Bruins. Obviously, winning the Stanley Cup, that was pretty cool. That was the year they won, right? The year he came back?
Yeah.
The year he came back, right, they won. How do you feel about the Flyers tomorrow for the Bees? Obviously, Flyers 7-6-3 on the year. He's a big Flyers guy.
Tortorella, yeah.
Yep, Bruins are home. How do you feel about them? Kim Atkinson's on the Flyers, right?
Oh, he's on the Flyers. I expect the Bruins to win. I mean, the Flyers just don't really have the roster to compete. I don't think they've got the coach. Coach tells them to block shots. You can expect a lot of block shots and tough play, but the Bruins can get to 4 or 5 goals. I don't think the Flyers can.
I mean, they look at their goal scores. They only have 50. I mean, 50 goal scores isn't bad considering they've only played what?
They got like Konechny, Hayes, Atkinson.
Kevin Hayes.
Their best player there, Couturier, is not.
Konechny, yeah.
I think he's out.
Yeah, he's not playing. He's out. It looks like. Let me see it. It says here he was.
I think he has surgery or something.
Out 3 to 4 months with a back injury in September, so he's probably out till January.
I think he had surgery to repair a disc or something.
But yeah, they're 29th in goals for in the NHL. In goals against, they're 13th. Only have 41 goals in the as the Bees. First in goals for with 65, and second in goals against in the NHL with 35 goals allowed. Number 1 in the NHL right now in simple rating system, which is the thing that Hockey Reference Online does, which I'm not sure how they compute it, but they're number 1 in that, which is pretty cool. And obviously, like you said, they're number 1 in offensive and defensive rating, you said?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's pretty impressive.
The PK, too. The penalty kill's been great. I think it was like 95% on home ice. They let one in last game, but...
And do you think it's Jim Montgomery? Obviously the depth is, maybe just the Bruins, hitting their stride at the right time. But
I think it's a little of that. Probably more so just like you had some new faces come in last year, and they've got, like, Lindholm was a late-year addition. DeBrusque was a late-year addition up on the top line with Bergeron, although Montgomery does mix the lines up a ton, which is refreshing to see because usually you see teams mix up the lines when they're in a rut, but he'll mix them up mid-game just to get them going with the momentum, which Cassidy used to stick with the same lines a lot, so that's one difference.
One of it does the trick, right, though? I mean, at the end of the day, you just want them hot, right?
But it also keeps guys energized a little bit if it's working. Like, all right, Hall's going to play with Bergeron this shift because he's not finding his game yet.
Yeah. No, I respect that.
Like that.
I want to ask your opinion on this. So, obviously, the Bruins so far right now have been splitting up Lindholm and McAvoy, right? So, 2 different lines.
Yep.
Do you think they continue doing that for the rest of the season? Or do you think at some point you go a power line of both those guys together?
I think it's all matchup based, right? So, ideally, you keep them split up. But say you play against a team where they decide they're going to just put their top 3 best players together on the same line. Like for instance, the Penguins. If the Penguins go with a line of, like, Crosby, Malkin, and Gensel, you might as well just have McAvoy and Lindholm together and just match that, the big line with the big defensive pairing. So it's all matchup based.
Yeah, I respect that. That makes sense. The Bruins right now.
And then they've also got the luxury of, like, you can play Bergeron's line against a team's best centerman because he's going to follow the center.
Yeah.
So
would you say still the best defensive forward?
You match Lindholm and McAvoy. What?
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. You have Bergeron's first line out there, good defense. Would you say Bergeron's still the best defensive forward in the NHL?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think all the stats back it up. The advanced stats. Cassidy said last year the nerds keep making new advanced analytics and keeps making Bergeron look better and better. But
yeah, he's a beast.
He wins a bunch of face-offs. He's always in position. Great passer, and he anticipates. He's great anticipation on the penalty kill. Steals a lot of pucks. So I don't know who I would rather have out there in a big defensive situation. So.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. He's having a great year, and I was happy he came back to you, obviously, in that 1-year deal. And it looks like Krejci was a great pickup getting him back, too. He's playing great.
Yeah, should help the power play. I think he'll. He got dinged up a little bit one of these past games.
Yeah, he got hit pretty hard. I saw.
So, luckily the team's doing well enough. You're not really depending on him to shoulder the same offensive load that he used to.
Yeah.
So he'll get there. I think.
No,
I haven't really seen him flash off the rush like he used to.
He still could. He could still stick him. He's like a magician with the passing.
Yeah, he probably just doesn't. He might have lost a half a stride, or he's just still getting used to the NHL speed again. But I expect he'll be good. He's good on. He's good on the power play. I like when he has the puck. He's a good passer. He could be the best passer on the team.
Bergeron loves him too, right? So he's probably psyched he's back.
They've been teammates the longest, I think. So
you're right. I was happy he came back for you too. I know you were a fan of him back in the day. You were a big Thornton guy too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You love Sean Thornton and Krejci and Berge. Those are your boys.
Yep.
Sean Thornton.
We saw Luch in town a few games ago.
Yes, he was a couple games ago. Did he give any ovation or anything? I didn't see. I missed something.
I think when he came out on the ice for the first time, the fans cheered for him. Yeah.
Nice. I'm
surprised they didn't start him or something, because you know how they announce the lineups of the starting players.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Get everyone going. Why not? Right. So if you had
the other guy, I think we got to highlight is Connor Clifton.
Yes, I was going to say. If you have to,
or something, but
if you have to give the most underrated Bruin, who is it? Is it Clifton?
Oh, it's got to be him. Yeah, and I thought he was coming on great in the playoffs last year, because he had to step in and play big minutes when McAvoy was out, Lindholm was out.
Yep.
They kept playing Clifton and Forbort's pairing all day long, and actually Clifton has been with Lindholm most of this year, at least recently. So he's actually been out there on the top pair with Lindholm.
He has 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points. He's been playing very well.
Yeah, goals in consecutive games.
Yeah, he's been playing great.
He skates, he hits. He's not a big guy.
Only 5'11".
Sometimes. Yeah, and he used to make mistakes trying to do too much. Now I think he's a lot better at picking his spots. Maybe Lindholm might be rubbing off on him or something.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. How do you feel about Craig Smith? Is that a guy that Bruins can potentially move at some point? 1 goal, 2 assists in the year?
I think if you can, I would, yeah.
You think he's gone?
Well, coming into the year, I was thinking him, Foligno, Mike Riley, these guys, they all make around the same money, and if you want to re-sign Pasternak, if you want to add a player who can really help you, you got to find a way to get rid of these guys. They've waived Riley down to the AHL.
He cleared waivers,
so they
right?
bury some of that money. I think Foligno's actually been good.
Yeah, Foligno's solid. 3 goals, 4 assists,
as far as this year is concerned, he's worth close to what they're paying him.
$2.8 million. So
yeah, he's worth that right now. He's bringing something every game, and he's a good locker room guy. There's never a doubt about that.
Yeah, he's not bad. Considering he's $2.8 million, this Coyle's making 3, Zach is making 3.5.
No, Coyle's making like 5.25 or something.
His salary's 3 right now, but maybe with more money, right?
But you're gonna go by like cap hit.
Okay, got you. This is based on salary.
Because usually they'll front load these hockey contracts with bonuses because they don't make as much money.
Current cap hit's $5.25 million, so $5,250,000 with a salary of $3 million.
I think Foligno might be 3.8, but I could be wrong.
Let me see. I'll check it out right now. I have everything right here.
Capfriendly.com?
This is Hockey Reference, which gets it from Cap Friendly. So it's pretty much.
Okay, yeah, Cap Friendly. You can click between the tabs. It'll show the whole roster. You can go like cap hit, AAV is average annual value, and then you can get the actual salary.
I think they get this from Cap because everything's right that you said. $2.8 million salary for Foligno with a $3.8 million cap hit, which is good amount. That's a lot of money for a guy that's 35 years old, though, right?
It's a lot of money for a guy on the fourth line.
35, but that's because of how deep the Bruins are, right? Though he's gonna be on the fourth line for the Bees, maybe third for other teams.
Yes and no, and he's playing a little bit of third and fourth, so he's on the second power play, so he's giving you a little special teams depth.
Yeah,
he's good. He's got some physicality to him. He doesn't seem to be as slow this year as he was last year.
You're right.
Gets to the front of the net. He's already scored a few goals. Got some points.
Yeah, he's solid. And the Bruins right now, I think the magic thing is the Bruins are 9-0 at home too. Which I know as we're talking about all the players, but they're winning games at home. Exactly. We're talking about the players. I want to mention that they're 9-0 at home, and tomorrow night.
I think Brad Marchand too. After one of the games, they mentioned that he said, "Well, you want to be a team where you intimidate the opponent when they come into your building, and they know they have to, come into a place where the Bruins don't lose."
You're right. They haven't lost. 9-0. I'm impressed. And how does Felger and Mass feel on 98.5? Are they fans?
Yeah, when the team's doing really well, you don't hear much from them. So
that's it.
How was the drama of the teams that are struggling?
How was Tuesdays with Greg Bedard? Big Boy Tuesdays with Greg Bedard. I missed it yesterday.
Yeah.
I missed it.
I was listening to him yesterday.
He's the best.
Talking about would you prefer Zach Wilson or Mac Jones? A lot of them were saying Wilson.
I might go Wilson based on arm. I don't know, though. It's tough. I like Mac, though.
Athletic talent.
Maybe arm strength, but I'm starting to feel
athleticism.
bad for Mac. I'm starting to feel bad for Mac. I am. I feel bad for Mac. I do. I don't know. I feel he's in a lot of.
I mean, the guy first. You gotta. It is a "what have you done for me lately" business. I mean, everyone
It's a
praised him
results
last year. I want him to do well. It's just. I think people are giving Mac almost too much rope in some sense.
I get
But
that.
hey, big week for him. Coming off a bye.
Playing the Jets.
He's finally probably settled in. I'm sure the ankles wasn't 100% when he got back out there. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see. I think there's been some scuttlebutt too about like defenses they know all the Patriots plays because it's too predictable, and
Yeah.
I even heard somebody. I think it might have been Greg Bedard said like, is it because Matt Patricia's the only offensive coordinator in the league who doesn't cover his mouth when he's calling the plays in?
He's right. See, Tuesdays with Greg Bedard, Big Boy Tuesdays, Greg Bedard, 98.5, the Sports Hub. The best segment in all of sports, whether you're watching ESPN, Fox Sports, any radio station, WFAN in New York City. This is the best segment in all of radio, media, in sports, in the sports industry. Tuesdays with Greg Bedard on 98.5. He's the best. He's the best at what he does. Absolute beast.
It is good, yeah.
Absolute beast. He's a big
Three up,
Judon
three
guy.
down, 10 questions with Greg Bedard, yeah.
Biggest tool bag, right? Always gives the biggest tool bag of every team.
Always biggest tool bag of whatever franchise they're about to play that week.
Always. How do you feel about the Patriots versus the Jets this week, though? Obviously, the Patriots beat
I
us
think
weeks ago.
it's Pats at home. I think you got to expect the Pats win. I do.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game, though. And I'll give the Patriots the edge here. I'll go 34-31 Patriots. 34 points a lot. I'll go
I don't know if it's the Jets.
27-21. 27-23. 27-23 Patriots. There's my prediction. What were you saying, though, about the Jets?
Yeah, I could see. I would pick a score like that, 27-23.
I'll go with that, because 30's a lot. What were we saying about the Jets? They beat them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they beat them a few weeks ago. I guess Wilson's been 5-1 this year.
Yeah.
One loss was against the Pats, and three
Brutal that
picks
game.
against the Pats.
Brutal. I mean,
hey, matchups are everything. If it's just a bad matchup for the guy, it's a bad matchup. So, advantage Patriots defense at a minimum.
Hey, the only
And
division...
I would expect a scoring drive right away from the Pats. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well,
You better have a
bye week, you
scripted
better.
drive. You better have at least one trick play. I think I've been calling for a trick play here. Where's the Jacoby Myers pass? Where's something?
Jeff Smith. Get Jeff Smith with Kobe White.
Yeah.
The BC end around from, it went to Anthony Brown, then to Jeff Smith, and then to Kobe White. But
run that Fournette to Brady play.
that was tough. God, Brady was trying to go up for it, though. Lucky Brady got killed. I mean, Brady tried to go for it, and the safety came, and he would have been dead, probably.
Yeah.
Probably would have gone popped. But how do you feel about the Bucs, though? Now they've won 2 of their last 2 games. Obviously, we gave our Patriots predictions. You're in the 27-23 range, right? Patriots by 4. Before we go on to the
This
Bucs.
one, yeah. I'll stick with the score you said. That sounds right.
Got you, 27-23. All right. Yeah, how do you feel about the Bucs, though? 2-0 in their last 2 games. You think they're turning the corner? Now 5-5,
I
leading
think they
in the
are
NFC
turning the
South?
corner. I do. They got to buy this week.
Do you still have faith in Brady?
What is it?
Do you still have faith in Tom Brady making a run?
It's more that I just can't doubt the guy. I mean, I'm not going to bet against him. He just gets it done too often. In the NFC, now that the Eagles just took an L there to Heineke, who's a beast, former Patriot.
Taylor Heineke, the GOAT. He got a good big win. Now they're 5-5. Washington's 5-5. The Patriots are 5-4.
Yeah.
Both AFC and NFC East, every team's either 500 above. Only division football's even close to that. Every division football has a team that's either 333 or below win percentage wise.
I don't know if you guys talked about it yesterday. I was going to say good prompt for you is which division's the better division in the NFL?
We
the
talked
AFC
about it.
East or the NFC East?
We talked about that, and so I said this. I think the AFC East is better because you have the Dolphins and the Bills. Both of them could win the Super Bowl. I don't see the Eagles or the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, even though win percentage wise.
Interesting.
I don't know. I think it's. I don't know which division. I would
say AFC East. I'm obviously biased, but
I'm only going AFC East because I think I'm not
the
even a
top
big Bills
end is
guy.
a little bit.
That's what I said.
High-powered. Yeah.
Everyone considers a top end, which I don't. I think the Giants are better than the Dallas Cowboys, but everyone considers the NFC East Eagles Cowboys. And what the AFC East is, Bills Dolphins. So if you're going based off what everyone thinks, I'm going to go AFC East. But if you put the Giants in there, I might lean Giants.
Well, I think last I checked, it was like all of the AFC East was in a playoff spot. I'm sure now that
everyone
Washington's
is
up to 5-5. They're knocking on the door of
half
a
a game
card,
out.
So.
Half
a game out. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, think about it. 2 entire divisions have the potential to, be in the playoffs.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Patriots' record overall? I mean, now they're 5-4 right now. Obviously, won 4 of their last 5. Do you think?
I think they should be better than
10-7.
They should be better than this record. Yeah.
You think they finished 10-7?
Well, they should have. They should have beat the Packers. I cannot believe they lost to the Bears. I don't care what Justin Fields does.
Fields has been
the
killing
Bears. I just don't consider them a real high-powered team.
No, they're not. I agree with you. They're 3-7. They're not a great team.
It's a QB who runs around. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson. He's a good player, but he was slipping, dropping the ball.
Yeah, it's a tough
the
game.
The Patriots
Monday
just
night,
played terrible that game.
That was
that was the big game where they had Mac. He throws a pick. They bring Zapp in, 2 touchdowns. Then he's throwing picks. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that was a tough game.
A horrendous game plan. Monday Night Football at home. That's just
that was a tough game.
Borderline embarrassing.
So you still have faith in Brady? Obviously, I know you're never going to go against Brady, but in the NFC, though, besides the Bucs, I guess, which team do you think the best team is in the NFC? Is it Minnesota? Is it Philly? Is it Dallas? Is it the Giants? Is it Tampa Bay? What's the best team in the NFC? Seattle, San Francisco? I think
Tampa, if they get it together, is the best because I think their defense has some of the best players on it. Devin White.
Devin White's good. Yeah,
guys.
I think the one thing about that Tampa Bay team is they've just – I don't know what it is. I know they've won the last 2 games, but there was no urgency in the beginning of the season. That made me worry. There was no urgency. They were just losing games.
But if you're getting the 2 wins, they're now, 500?
500, 5-5, leading in the NFC South by a game.
Yeah, so, I mean, they've got a little bit of momentum. Got the receivers getting healthier, Godwin.
Yeah, Godwin.
Rashad White there is a pretty good player.
He's pretty good. Fournette's pretty good, too, this year. He's having a good year. I mean, obviously, Brady now picking up a little bit. You have any faith in Aaron Rodgers? The Green Bay Packers are 4-6.
No,
coming off a big win this past week, though, against Dallas. With him throwing 3 touchdowns to Christian Watson, which was pretty interesting. The rookie wideout out of North Dakota State.
Yeah. Hopefully he helps me out in fantasy.
I hope so, too. That's actually a good pickup.
No.
Do you have any faith in Green Bay?
I got none.
You think they're done? They're only a game behind Tampa Bay, I guess, win-loss record-wise.
Yeah, I just don't think they would. I don't think so. I don't think he was beating the Bucs in a big spot. I mean, when Rodgers had everything going for him, home game at Lambeau, Brady's first year as the Bucs quarterback, and he got beaten.
Right.
So this year, with Rodgers frustrated, his receiving talent down, I think the line is spotty. Defense, it can't stop the run. It's
no wide receivers.
This kid just got 3 touchdowns last game, so he can't be that bad.
Watson, so that's it, though. It's just one guy, though. I mean, they don't get Devontae Adams.
Isn't he getting, what's his name back there? Cobb.
Cobb's coming back at some point.
Adams, yeah, he's got Adams. Not a wide receiver, but.
We'll see what happens there, obviously. But yeah,
he doesn't have a ton of. He's got no Devontae Adams, so.
I'll ask you this question.
Oh, I meant Aaron Jones. That's what I meant, not Adams.
Oh, I'm a big Aaron Jones guy. Aaron Jones is a beast. I'm an Aaron Jones guy. I'm with you. Aaron Jones is a beast.
He's a good player.
No, he's really good. I want to ask you this, your opinion on Daniel Jones. Where do you think he ranks right now, quarterbacks in the NFL? I'm going to give you a couple numbers really quick. He had a 153.3 passer rating this past weekend on Sunday, which was the number 1 passer rating for a quarterback in the NFL in a single game this year. He hasn't thrown an interception now in 6 games. The Giants are 5-1 of those 6 games.
That's good for him.
And obviously, if you look at it, he's been playing great on third down, and this comes from Bobby Skinner. He did all these numbers and these crunching for John Boy Media. Daniel Jones on third down the last 5 games, excluding screens. In 3rd and 7 plus plays, so third down and 7 yards or more, he's 13 of 27, 48%. That's pretty good. 13 of 20 for 240 yards, 12 yards per attempt, with a touchdown, no picks, 3 sacks, 4 carries for 24 yards. And then 3rd and 6 or less, 15 to 25 for 60% for a conversion rate, which is pretty good. 15 to 19 passing, 114 yards, and 6 yards per attempt. With 1 touchdown, no picks, 2 sacks, 4 carries to 34 yards. 3rd and 7 or more, he's 48%. Conversion rate. 13 27 yards.
Anything over 50 is pretty good.
He's 13 20 240 yards with 12 yards per attempt. That's pretty impressive. I'm looking
What's
for
the league average on just third downs in general? Is it like 33% or something?
Probably something like that. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty good. You take 40, right? You take 40% always, right? I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think so.
But Daniel Jones, 50% of his pass plays in this past game on Sunday came on third down in the last drive of the half. And if you look at it, he was 7 of 7 in the pass plays on third down and the last drive of the half. 7 of 7, 124 yards, a touchdown, and 3 sacks. And those 3 sacks came on 3rd, 15, 3rd, and 10 in the last play of the half. So very impressive finish from the last play of the first half to third downs and all that. He's been playing great. I don't know. I mean, you're not a big DJ guy. Where would you rank him right now?
You probably exceeded even what you projected, right?
Well, I had him at 12 or whatever.
That's fine.
I would still.
No, I just mean the team, his performance with the team, the record, and all that.
I mean, the Giants are 7-2, best record since 2008. Very impressive. And yeah, I mean, I'm a big DJ guy in general, though. You know that. I always support him.
Yeah, I think he's certainly been put in a much better position to,
to succeed,
enhance what he's good at, which I think is running. The Giants are a running offense as much as any team is.
Yeah,
I mean, they probably run as effectively as maybe not the Ravens, but they're like that in a way where the QB's a threat. They got a better running back. They run a lot. They even do some wide receiver reverses, short screens. I just think you got to be able to see them pass a little bit more.
Here's the thing,
because you can't lean. You don't want to lean on your guy 31 totes a game if
you can pass, though,
the drop off between your top back and your next back is as steep as it probably is on the Giants.
You could. Well, they got Matt Breida, Antonio Williams, and Gary Bright with the back of running backs. Breida's all right, but the other two really just practice.
Yeah, but even Breida's like a. What's he getting at most, like 10 touches a game on a team, ideally? No, but I mean, ideally, if he was really one of your feature guys.
Probably 10, but on the Giants,
10 is probably about all you want to give him.
He usually got more on the 9ers back in the day.
He's a speed guy.
Yeah, he's not bad, though. He's pretty good. But this weekend's going to be the same story the Giants have been playing all year. Detroit's 31st against the run in the league, giving them 160 yards per game on the ground. And the Giants are 4th in time of possession. Detroit's 28th. And the Giants are 3rd in rushing yards. They're going to run the ball all day. They're going to run the ball all day this weekend against Detroit.
2 running teams. Again, Detroit's a run-first team. Giants are a run-first team.
Swift's going to be out, though, right? It looks like.
Who?
DeAndre Swift, is he out?
I don't think so. I think he's fine. I think Jamal Williams missed practice.
That's who it is. Someone missed. Missed something.
Well, Swift's the better guy, so you don't want him getting the ball more.
Yeah, I like Swift, but I don't know. The Giants can beat them. The Giants can beat them. One last thing, though. So, as I said, Daniel Jones had the highest passer rating. Yeah, he's a good player. I like Swift. He had the highest passer rating in the NFL this year, though, Daniel Jones in the game, 153.3. And one other thing I wanted to highlight, you're talking the NFC. The NFC in 2020, right? After 10 weeks, the Eagles were number 1 in the division, 3-5-1. The Giants were 2nd at 3-7. Washington and the Cowboys were 2-7. Now after 10 weeks in 2022, so 2 years later, the Eagles are 8-1, Giants are 7-2, Cowboys are 6-3, and Washington's 5-5. They went from the NFC least to the NFC beast.
And the divisions everyone thought were going to be awesome, like AFC West, they thought it was going to be all these
only 2 teams all 500.
Teams. It's really just, again, I think I said the Chiefs are going to be the worst. They're clearly the best team in the division.
Yeah, I was very high in the Raiders. I have the worst team in the division, 2-7.
Raiders Broncos, horrible.
Yeah, 3-6 for the Broncos.
And Charge is just, they got to fire the coach.
5-4. Yeah, he'll be gone. Staley, he'll be gone.
And then what? NFC West.
2 teams all 500 again.
They're
Arizona 4-6, Rams 3-6, 49ers 5-4, Seahawks 6-4. What do you think of the Rams?
The Niners, I think, are good. I think they're good.
The Niners are good. What do you think of the Rams?
I think they should fire the coach. McVay's terrible.
McVay is the thing. I told you already about this. I know you don't like McVay.
You can't give him credit for all the wins and no blame for the losses.
I give him a little blame for the loss. I'm not saying it's only on him, but at the end of the day,
a little blame. If he gets a little blame for the loss, he only gets a little credit for the win.
Hey, he made the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl 36, was high at 31. Very impressive resume.
You think he was out there running routes for Cup. Cooper Cup, he's running the guy into the ground.
He's a former wideout at UMaine, Ohio. So Mac guy. He's a Mac guy. He knows. Mid-American Conference football, baby. But I like him. I don't mind McVay. He's a good coach. He knows the game well.
Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford. Who's the other wide receiver they brought in?
Odell, Allen
Robinson, who I don't think was good, but
here's the thing about McVay.
Higbee, they've got plenty of guys.
Here's the thing about McVay, though. He won the Super Bowl, the youngest head coach ever to win a Super Bowl, 36 years old. 36 years old. I mean,
that
that's
wasn't
impressive.
The youngest roster to win, though. I mean, he has Aaron Donald. He has all these guys.
I'm talking about coaching-wise,
veterans. It was a veteran-laden team. Even Stafford there he had a whole career in Detroit, and then comes in and
maybe
it's not like he took
McVay made him. because he didn't do any of that in Detroit. I know Detroit didn't nothing around him, but maybe
he was
McVay made
already
him a
a
Super Bowl
top
quarterback.
10 all-time passing yards.
Look at him this year, though. He's not having a great year.
Leading the league in picks. He wasn't leading the league in picks in Detroit.
Yeah, but right now he's having a bad
last
year.
And this year.
Right now he's having a bad year.
Last year he led the league in picks.
He did. I know he did. But this year he's having a bad year. 8 touchdowns, 8 picks.
So McVay made a guy.
But McVay made a Super Bowl quarterback, that's my point. He made him a Super Bowl quarterback. He won the Super Bowl last year.
It's Cooper Kupp.
Kupp's a big reason, too. So, obviously...
it was probably the best season a receiver has had since, Randy Moss got 23 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a great year.
You could argue it's better because you could get 10 grabs a game. Moss was 4 or 5.
He was Super Bowl MVP, right? I think he was.
Yes.
I think he was. Odell had a touchdown that game, too. Where do you think Odell signs? I'm going the Giants. I'm stamping that in. That's my prediction. Odell coming back home to the Giants. Landon Collins came back home. Not as big as a return than Odell will be, though. Odell Beckham.
Whoever's going to pay him the most, you think the Cowboys?
I don't know if it's about money. He already got his payday from the Giants.
Yeah, but NFL is such a short-lived career. You got to cash in. Do you think he's saving it? Looks like he's buying jewels.
Yeah, he's buying a lot of stuff. But I think he's coming back to the Giants. I think he's coming back home.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. You probably know where the best fit for him is. I would not want him on my team.
Personally. Oh, come on. You don't think New York's going to love him coming back?
Too much of an. I would not want him on the Patriots.
It would be live. Everyone would be talking about that for a week if he went back to the Giants. Colin Cowherd, Stephen A.
They're going to talk about it for a week no matter where he goes. He could go to who's the worst team in the league?
Worst team in the league right now, record-wise, is Houston.
Houston, yeah. You go to Houston, they'll talk about it for a week.
The Raiders are 2-7's next. Ugh.
Ugh.
Brutal luck there. That was a bad prediction. They go for the first pick.
Pretty close. What do the Broncos have? 3 wins?
Broncos are 3-6, not too far back. Rams are 3-6. The Saints are 3-7. Jacksonville's 3-7. Jacksonville, honestly, they could have won more games than they've got.
Yeah, but Jacksonville, they've had a tough run of it. So.
3-7's not bad though for them. And Trevor Lawrence is showing some progress.
And it's all one-score games. They're not getting blown out by people.
Hey, I want to ask you this question, and me and you both.
They just had to go into Arrowhead last week, and they actually put up a good game. Kicker missed 2 field goals. Yeah. If you make those 2 field goals and score a 2-point conversion, you're down by 3. You can't be missing 40-yard field, 2 40-yard field goals. Those should be gimmies.
I'm with you. And I want to ask you this question. You're starting at franchise today. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. Who are you picking?
Oh, Lawrence.
Lawrence all day. I'm with you. Lawrence all day long. All day.
I don't know who I would take over Lawrence for the next 10 years.
I think he's set up to win for the future. I think people were down on him after a bad rookie year because he had no offensive line. Had Urban Myers as head coach doing stuff.
Urban Myers as coach.
Kicking plays and stuff. Whatever he was doing. Kicked, that backup kick or whatever in the back. Whatever he did.
It's also just not a franchise that the owners put that much money into. It's not the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. There's not as much care in Jacksonville, too. No one cares in Jacksonville, right? There's no franchise, really. No one really cares that much in the city.
No.
So I would take Trevor Lawrence over Herbert as well. He's shown a lot of progress this year. If you look at his stats...
imagine if you had Trevor Lawrence on Miami right now. He could hum the ball 7 yards to Hill and Waddle. It would be
unreal.
I don't know if Miami would lose the game.
I don't know if they would either. He's having a great year. 13 touchdowns total with 6 picks. Has a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter, which is pretty good. Fourth quarter comeback. Has one game-winning drive, 89.7 passer rating, which is a lot better than last year. Obviously, you get Christian Kirk, that makes a difference. Kirk's having a great year.
Christian Kirk was the 3rd receiver on his team.
He was.
They didn't bring in Jerry Rice.
No, they did. 52 catches, 679 yards, 7 touchdowns, though. Obviously, Lawrence likes him, though.
Yeah.
Lawrence likes him, though. And then your boy...
and a lot of these guys, like Allen, they got him Diggs. All of a sudden, he's... started putting up great numbers. Burrow has T. Higgins and Chase. He's putting up. He puts up numbers.
And then you look at the opposite.
Gets Hill and Waddle, and these guys turn it around when the pressure's off you. You have to make one pass, the receiver takes it down the field rather than, throw it to him 7 times.
Yes. No, Chase, Burrow, 100%. Just like you said, Tua, Tyreek Hill. But the same could be said the opposite way.
Kupp for Stafford.
Kupp for Stafford, exactly. You could say the opposite way, too, though. Rodgers loses Adams. It's the same exact thing. You need number 1.
Yeah, look, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's just how it goes, obviously. But obviously, see what happens there. You gave your predictions for that game. What about the Giants this weekend against Detroit? What's your predictions of that game? You gave predictions of the Patriots.
I think Giants are just a better team, right? They should win that game.
I'll go Giants 30. 31-20.
21.
31-20.
21-17.
Okay, close one. Do you think a close one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking close. If two teams run a lot, it's going to use more clock.
The line's only 3. The Giants only favored by 3, so I guess you're not too far off.
Are they on the road?
Giants are on the road, I believe, yes.
Yeah.
No, Giants are home. The Giants are home.
Oh, wow.
Home.
3-pointer at home.
I think they are home.
Interesting game.
Yeah, I know you're probably...
Interesting game to put some money on, maybe.
Uh-oh. I know you're a big Travis Etienne guy, so I'm sure you're happy with seeing the Jags, getting him healthy, and he's playing great. DeAndre Swift, too. Two of your boys there. You're big fans of both. Both have good years. Swift's just hurt. Swift's had a good year besides the injuries, though.
I know. They just haven't given him the ball much, but maybe this week.
Let me make sure it is the Giants at home. Yes, the New York Giants are at home, 1 o'clock on Sunday. So that'll be a good game to watch. The Giants, Patriots are playing at 1 against the Jets, so we gave both our predictions there. Anything else you want to add in about the NFL before we do some quick-hitting questions?
Who's your new Super Bowl favorite?
Okay, that's tough. This is where it's tough because at the end of the day, there's a lot of mediocrity in the NFL this year, right?
Yeah.
We came into the NFL this year thinking...
Nobody's head and shoulders above the rest of the league.
No one is. I mean, there's a lot of mediocrity between quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are in our top 10 that would no longer be in our top 10. Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson wasn't in mine, but I know a lot of people had him in their top 10. That's 4 quarterbacks right there that top 10 quarterbacks a lot of people had in that aren't top 10 quarterbacks here. So Aaron Rodgers, brutal year. Tom Brady having a tough year even. Let me think, though. That's tough. If I had to pinpoint right now who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you got?
Yeah.
Bills?
Tough call. I guess Bills, if they have a little adversity now, that won't be bad. But I don't think it's the same lock that everyone thought it was after week 1.
Yeah, this is hard.
You know what? Maybe the Bengals. I mean, they just made it there. It could be them. They've had some struggles, though.
Yeah, this is tough. I don't know. I mean, the Bengals, they've been struggling. They're 5-4 though, so they're still in the playoff.
Bengals defense is a little underrated. No, someone's chiming in here saying the Vikings. I'm not.
The Vikings 8-1.
I'm not a believer in the Vikings.
Hey, they're 8-1. They're up in that division by 5 games over Green Bay, 4.5 games.
I think the Bucs would beat the Vikings in the playoffs.
I don't know. Tom Brady's team.
Actually, here's a bold. You want a bold prediction?
Let's hear it.
Everyone tune in Thanksgiving night when the Patriots go into Minnesota and beat the bag out of the Vikings.
Hey, what are the chances? I just got text about it. It's not going to tell you who. What are the chances the Los Angeles Rams turn the season around, go back to the Super Bowl?
0.
0. Hey, they're still not eliminated. 3-6. What are the chances McVay turns the season around?
None. Cooper
0.
Cup's out. Team's out.
4 weeks. 4 weeks. If I had to give a matchup right now, I would go
San Francisco. I think San Francisco is possibly the best team in the NFC.
They're 5-4 though. But I know record-wise, I know.
Yeah.
But
5-4, but so are the Patriots.
Are you Chiefs Niners? Is that your Super Bowl matchup right now? As of now,
Niners Bills maybe.
Niners Bills. Okay, I'm gonna go Chiefs, and I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. And I had faith in them before. I still have faith in the Giants. Giants. Chiefs, Giants, Super Bowl. That's my prediction.
Giants.
That's my prediction. They're 7-2 right now. Playing
Niners
this week and hopefully
Chiefs
go
is a
8-2.
rematch of what, like 3 years ago?
2020. That's what it'll be, yeah. And then obviously that 2021 Super Bowl was a tough one. Obviously, for my boy Mahomes. That was Mahomes. Mahomes Bucks,
no
right? Mahomes Bucks.
No touchdowns.
Brady got the Super Bowl win that year. But so that's your prediction. That's my prediction there. We'll move on really quick. One last segment before we do our best Thanksgiving foods and stuff. One more thing.
Okay.
All right, we'll get into that. So while we're talking right now, think top 3 best Thanksgiving foods, and number 1 that's either overrated, you're not a big fan of, you don't get the hype. If you want to give that now, you can. We can do it now and then finish with Devers. What do you want to do?
Go to quick Devers.
All right, Devers, Bogarts, Red Sox, offseason. Evaldi's a free agent. Devers is 1 year left on his deal. Bogarts is a free agent. Michael Walker's a free agent. Obviously, there's some big free agents in the MLB. Trey Turner, who we don't really have a chance at, but he's one of them. Aaron Judge, Jacob deGrom, Carlos Rodon, Justin Verlander. What's the number 1 priority for the Red Sox this offseason? Is it signing Bogarts and Devers, which I think it is, or is it signing one of them, probably Devis to an extension, letting Bogarts walk, so that's what I think they're going to do, and then pay a number one pitcher. What do you think it is?
Yeah, it's got to be pitching for next year's team. But it's going to be pitching, I think.
Of all these free agents.
In terms of, like, individual player, because I'm not quite as familiar with the MLB, like, landscape, it's got to be Devers. I mean, if they squander Xander, they're talking about him like they really want him. They let Xander all year and then let him go. You're just going to expect the same thing to happen with Devers, so they have to lock him in, sign him. You got to print somebody's face on these season tickets, right?
You're right.
If they still sell any.
What you're saying is, if they lowball Devers just like they lowballed Bogarts, then you end up losing him to free agency, basically, because now he's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. I would agree with you.
Well, I don't. You know what? Too, I think at some point ownership has to sort of step in because the seat's got to be getting warm on Chaim Bloom. The 100%. Team went to the ALCS last year, then this year. They don't even make the playoffs. That's right. That's a huge regression.
It is.
And you were supposedly added to the team. Like
last in the division.
You brought in Story. Terrible.
You brought in Story. Michael Walker had a good year. And
it's not like your farm system didn't get rated any higher. And all the best players are Dombrowski guys.
Dombrowski's
and now Dombrowski's about to take Xander Bogarts.
You're right. You never know.
Series again.
He actually might. You're not wrong about that. Is that your prediction? Bogarts to Philly? That's a chance.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, that's not a bad prediction.
I hope he stays on the Sox, but I mean, Dombrowski goes and gets his guys. He says, "I want guys who I know are good."
He wants to win now. That's why I love Dombrowski. He doesn't care about any prospects. He wants to win now. He wants to win now. I love Dombrowski.
Even when he's not caring about prospects, he's still picking all the top-rated guys in our system. Bayo, Cassis. These guys are all Dombrowski guys.
They are. Devers is a Dombrowski guy.
You rip him for saying he destroys the farm, but yet the best pieces in our farm system right now are Dombrowski guys.
You're right. Rather than all the AA guys we trade for every single trade.
And Chaim Bloom trades everyone for prospects, but it's like they don't seem to. Who do we get? He picked like the 4th pick overall in the draft. I mean, good for him. I think you and I could pick that
guy. Here's my prediction for a Devers contract: 7 years, $33 million, $231 million. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I was thinking. What is it? 10 and 300. 30 a year?
You could do. Yeah, you could do 10 for 300. I did 7 for 33, so 231 a year. But if you made it 10 for 33, it'd be 330 total. 100 million less though is what I went with. I went 7 years rather than 10.
Right.
But you're not wrong though. Yeah, a lot of the guys we have in our farm system that he drafted, Bloom, we could both draft. When they had the 4th pick in the draft, everyone would have taken Marcel Lamaya because he was supposed to be the first pick in the 2021 MLB draft. Everyone would have taken him. So yeah, I'm with you.
The one thing I don't like on the Devers, the one thing that kind of grinds my gears is he's playing third base now. He does. I mean, from what I can tell and when I watch, he does just fine in the field. He might not be Gold Glove, Bill Miller, or whatever out there, but he's got this unbelievable power bat. He's got a huge clutch factor. He hits off the best pitching in the league, and yet they send him contract offers like, well, we project you to be this.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's not what he is right now, and he's already won a World Series. He's young. I don't get it. It's like, well, we project you somewhere. But the cap, everything's going to go up. Like a $30 million contract in 5 years is going to be just fine for a first baseman. Like, I don't know.
Because salaries keep going up.
I don't get it.
That's my prediction. And
it's like, well, then stick him at first base right now and go get a third baseman. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. I'm with you. Then for Bogarts, my value right now for him is 6 years, $28 million. You probably chew a year or two of that deal at $168 million overall. I'm not sure where he's going to sign, but I think that's where he's going to be valued at. 6 years, $28 million at $168 total.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. So now we'll move on to our last segment. Top 3 Thanksgiving foods. I'll give you my top 3, so let you think for a second. My top 3 yesterday, number 1 was stuffing. Number 2 was mashed potatoes. And then I went number 3, vanilla pudding, cream pie, my mom makes. The vanilla pudding pie with the whipped cream.
Oh, yeah.
So that's top 3.
I'm gonna just have a dessert as honorable mention. I'm going turkey gravy stuffing. And if gravy doesn't actually count, then...
All right, gravy counts.
Ooh, I guess...
Crescent rolls.
No.
Squash.
Nope.
Peas.
I would say mashed potatoes, but there's a thing. What's it called? It's like sweet potato casserole. It's got like candy pecans on top. It's
yeah, you're a big fan of casserole. Yeah. And then most overrated or one that you're not a fan of that other people like. I went with yams yesterday, but what do you think?
I don't even think I eat that on Thanksgiving.
No, but people have it. One that you don't want to eat on Thanksgiving. I don't know. It could be anything. One that's overrated. I think yams. I'm not a fan of. Everyone in my family likes yams. I don't.
Okay, people eat zucchini pie around my house. I'm not a big cheese guy, so
yeah, I'd probably go with that.
Not for me.
Yeah, it could be one that you don't like, one that's overrated, one that you think's all right, but everyone overhypes. It could be one that I'd be a fan of.
I'm not a real cheese guy.
I respect that. And then we had a couple other good questions yesterday. We did sports movies with you last week, which was pretty fun, obviously. It was a pretty good way to end that show. I got to think of one more. We're going to end with a good question here. One last debate. One good one. Let me think. We did yesterday with James Hosey was in here, right? Live in the studio. We did best movie about New York, or in or around when it can be even The Sopranos could be a show about New York, based in New York, whatever it is. My number one was A Bronx Tale, but The Sopranos are in there too, definitely. What do you think?
Yeah, Sopranos is like New Jersey, like, technically. So
yeah, technically Jersey, in that area, I guess. But
yeah,
I went A Bronx Tale. I don't know if you've seen it, but a great movie. Robert De Niro's in it.
I know that one.
Love that movie. Best New York movie?
Yeah, that one's good. Is that the one where it's like, Mickey Mantle won't pay your rent?
Yes, yeah. Mickey Mantle doesn't give a damn about you, so why should you give a damn about him?
Yeah.
That's an unreal movie. I love that movie so much. That was my number one.
Where's Goodfellas take? Is that Jersey too?
I think they show New York City in it, so I think it counts.
I think it might be.
Yeah, I think it's NYC.
Yeah, I like Goodfellas.
Goodfellas was filmed in East 60th Street.
And they give a little shout out to BC. Yes, BC basketball point shaving scandal.
They do. Yeah, it's filmed in New York, so it's either filmed in New York or about New York. It could be either one. It's really just a general question. So it's pretty cool. It's good. So then you gave your Thanksgiving picks there too. I'll be in the studio maybe next Tuesday night anyway, so maybe have you on again before. But I don't want to hold up any more of your time. But thank you so much, Mike, as always, for coming on. I appreciate it. Obviously, the Bees are a big game against the Flyers tomorrow. Hopefully get you the win. But as always, a pleasure having the Sports Guru come on. Yep. Thank you, Mike.
Go UMaine.
Go UMaine, baby. UMaine super fans. That's what we both are. We'll be back on talking UMaine again one day
Black
soon.
Bear Nation.
Black Bear Nation. We're super fans now, we not?
Absolutely.
Money line all day. That's all I got to say.
That should have all been money line.
I'm with it. Next time, though, we'll be there. But anyways, Mike, always a pleasure having you come on. The Sports Guru, the best in the business. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Good talking.
Have
good
a good
show.
one. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you.
There you have it. The Sports Guru, Mike Hurley, coming on live on air. As always, a pleasure having him come on and talking sports. The kid knows on me. He comes on. We talk Bruins, talk Red Sox, talk Patriots, talked with the NFL as a whole, talked MLB free agency, talked about BC football, talked even a little UMaine basketball, BC basketball, talked about all that in there in that one, 25, 35, 45-minute window there. It was probably about an hour overall, but he came on, we talked everything except college football, which we did talk college football with BC, and obviously Notre Dame. We didn't talk about our predictions for the college football playoffs. So we'll hold that maybe next week, next Tuesday, have him come on and give some talk about that. So one last update on the MAC football games, give you guys a rundown of scores, and then I'll call it a night. Central Michigan currently up right now. That Snow Bowl up 10-7 over Western Michigan with 11 minutes to go. Eastern Michigan improving to 7-4 in the year, and Kent State dropping to 4-7, losing 31-24 was Kent State to Eastern Michigan. And then Miami, Ohio, improving to 4-6 on the year, or 5-6 on the year now, actually getting this win, and now have a chance at a bowl game. If they win next week, Miami, Ohio will be playing Ball State next week, who is also 5-6. Both those teams will be playing for a chance at a bowl game. So, very impressive win for Miami, Ohio, obviously, getting that win tonight, 29-23 over Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois finding themselves at 3-8 on the year. And then one last thing I want to make sure I get right was Kent State falling on the year to 4-7, and Eastern Michigan jumping up to 7-4. So, Kent State's bowl chances are down. As for Central Michigan, they're staying alive, and right now they're currently finding themselves up by 3 with 10 minutes to go, keeping their bowl chances alive against Western Michigan. Anyways, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. As always, I appreciate it, and just want to give a quick shout-out to everyone listening. Thank you, as always, for taking the time. Auntie Lisa, the whole Loftus family, the whole O'Malley family, Maureen, Timmy, Lisa, my parents, all my family, Mike Hurley, Sports Guru, all my siblings, thank you guys so much. As always, for taking the time to listen. It does mean a lot to me. Thank you to the Keith family as well. It means a lot having you guys always listen in. I wouldn't be doing the show without you guys. So thank you guys. Hope you guys have a good one. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I'll be on anyways, probably before Thanksgiving, but I'm saying it just in case. Probably Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. I will be on here 7, 8 o'clock, hopefully, breaking down the last week of sports. Thank you guys, as always, for taking the time to listen to this. I appreciate it, and hope you guys have a good night. Thank you.